Your net worth is more important to know than your annual salary, your bonus amount, your bi-weekly paycheck amount. You get the picture. Your net worth is something that you should know, period. And by the way, your net worth is not that net pay amount if you have a paycheck that you get from a job. But in this video, I'm gonna cover exactly what your net worth is, how to calculate it, and most importantly, why it's important. But first, like I tend to do, let me take a quick tangent to complain about why they don't teach this shit in school. So in a capitalistic economy, business owners and wealthy people need worker bees. They need people who want to work jobs, people who are gonna continuously give their time in exchange for money. They need employees. They don't want the people who are gonna learn to save and invest and that won't rely on a job where they have to give 40 to 50 hours a week. So as such, systems within our society are set up to rear us into becoming workers. Now, there's nothing wrong with learning to be a productive member of society. I think it's really important. And there are a ton of advantages to working for a company or corporation. Like you can focus on a few tasks and projects as opposed to trying to run a whole business. And some people feel more secure depending on your pay and benefits. I just think that it's important to understand why certain things are taught in school and why certain things are not taught in school. I mean, why do you think schools are set up to teach kids to follow rules, stand in line, react to bells ringing, and to follow a strict time schedule? I'm not saying that these skills and order are bad to have, but there's a reason for it. You know, we're all funneled into school with the purpose of going to college, where most of us have to take on debt to even go to college. And the whole purpose of that is to prepare us to get a job. Anyway, tangent over. All of that to say that we don't learn about net worth and building wealth in school because it's more beneficial if the masses of people care about getting jobs than trying to figure out how they can work less. So for the select few who want to do that, there is a path. If you want to retire sooner than age 65, or if you simply want to build a lifestyle where you don't have to stress out about money, then knowing your net worth is a good exercise to do so that you have a picture of your financial health. For those new here, my name is Lissa and I help women of color revolutionize their relationships with money. So I do currently work a corporate job with a regular bi-weekly paycheck, paying a shit ton of taxes. But once I learned about personal finances a few years ago, I learned how to build my net worth. I learned how to leverage my pay from that job to buy real estate, to start businesses, to invest money, and to, like I said, grow my net worth and continue building wealth. And so today, if I wanted to quit my job, I could comfortably do so because I have my net worth as a cushion of money and resources that I can look to if I need some, if I don't have income coming in. So let's jump into it. What is net worth and why is it important? Simply put, your net worth is all of your assets minus your liabilities. Again, assets and liabilities are not words that we learn in school, so I'll explain them really quickly. Assets, in short, are everything that you own with monetary value. Examples can include the cash in your checking accounts, savings accounts, money in your retirement accounts like 401k or IRA, the total value of your home if you've bought it, the total value of your car, and that would be more like the Kelley Blue Book value, how much you could sell it for, not how much you paid for it, and any other investments that you have. Maybe you have money in the stock market, in cryptocurrency, etc. Now, one quick note about assets. Some people might get more detailed, like including furniture or artwork or other things that have value. But for purposes of this video, I'm gonna assume that you don't own a $10,000 couch. If you do, that's amazing, but I'm not gonna talk about those detailed assets here. Now, liabilities are everything that you owe, so your debts. This can include outstanding student loan debt, outstanding credit card balances, your mortgage amount if you have one, and the remaining amount on your car loan if you have one, etc. When you take all of the value of your assets and you subtract the value of your liabilities, you'll get your net worth. Unfortunately, a lot of people start out with a negative net worth because of taking on student loans and other debt that we don't have the money to pay for and have to climb out of it. So if this ends up being you, don't worry about it. Subscribe to my channel and I'll continue to give you tools on getting out of the red and into the green, but we'll talk about that again in a second. But now that you know what your net worth is, let's talk about why it's important to know. I have two main reasons that I think are really important. First, your net worth is an indicator of your financial health. It's actually a better indicator of how much you can afford than, say, your annual salary amount, because it gives you an understanding of where you're at financially, such as how long can you survive if you were to lose your job or have some unexpected medical bills come up. Second, knowing your net worth will change how you look at money. It'll change how you make decisions and change how you spend in a good way. What often happens to people when they only look at numbers like annual salary is lifestyle creep. So for example, let's say someone has a salary of $50,000 a year and they go paycheck to paycheck, but they get by. Now they get blessed with a pay increase to $70,000 a year. So in theory, they should have a $20,000 surplus that year, or more like $10,000 to $14,000 after taxes, that they can use to buy real estate, to invest in stock, just generally use for assets to build wealth. However, with lifestyle creep, that person may end up spending more in their lifestyle, such as moving into a place that has a higher rent, spending more on nice dinners, taking more vacations, etc. So when lifestyle creep happens, it's almost impossible to break cycles of debt, to break cycles of living paycheck to paycheck, and almost impossible to build wealth. So when you track your net worth, you're more likely going to use your money to get out of debt or buy assets, as opposed to spending money on liabilities or things that you don't actually need. Okay, by now you should be convinced that net worth is a good number to know. So let's jump into how to calculate it and do a quick example. Now, know that this is a snapshot of where it is today. It changes from day to day because you move your money around, you get paid, you pay bills, and you buy things, etc. So ultimately, there are better ways to track this, such as using an app. I personally use Personal Capital. But for this video, we're just gonna calculate it the old school way. You're gonna take a piece of paper, fold it in half so that you have two columns. And then on one side, we are going to list all of your assets, and on the other side, you're going to list all of your liabilities. So let's start with the left side. We are going to list all of your assets. I will give some examples. This is not my actual financial picture, but I want to give a simple example. So let's say that I have two checking accounts. One has $2,000 in it and the other one has $500. I have a savings account with $7,000 in it, a 401k that has $29,000 in it, and I also invest in crypto, so my Coinbase account has $2,000. I don't own my home, and my car's estimated value, if I wanted to sell it tomorrow, is $3,000. Okay, then we'll move on to the right side to list all of our liabilities, all of our debt. So let's say I have a student loan that is $12,000, maybe another one that is $8,000. Maybe I took a loan out of my 401k, that's $3,000. And let's say I have two credit cards that have outstanding balances. One has $2,000 on it and the other has $1,500 in it. Now, simple addition and subtraction. Add up all of the assets and add up all of the liabilities. So for the assets on the left side, it looks like we have $43,500 in total assets. And on the right side, we have $26,500 in total liabilities. What you're gonna do is take the assets amount and subtract the liabilities amount. And for this example, it leaves us with a net worth of $17,000. That is great because it is in the positive, it is in the green, so we have a positive net worth. But like I said earlier, do not worry if you are in the red, if you're in the negative, because this is the number that we are going to use to have a foundation to determine next steps in your wealth journey. Knowing this number alone is going to be helpful as you create plans to pay off debt, to increase your income, to budget your money, to save, and to invest in assets. The important part is that you now have an idea of your net worth. You are another step closer to being financially free. Now, before I end this video, I just want to point out one more thing. Just because you might see peers driving nice cars, buying expensive houses, or getting paid bigger salaries than you, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're in a better place than you financially. It's definitely possible to have those things and look like you're super wealthy, but have a low or negative net worth. All it means is that these people are going to be more reliant on a job where they must continue trading their time for money. Now, if you focus on accumulating assets and building wealth, you can still work towards having those nice things. But the difference is gonna be, you're not gonna have to rely on working a job the next 40 years. We'll talk about it in another video, but wealth, when you start investing and accumulating assets, it grows exponentially. All right, if you liked this video, make sure you subscribe and let me know in the comments. Until next time, peace out.